Hello! Merry Christmas! This is the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, my channel to talk about things yarn, crochet, knitting and craft related. All the good stuff. This is my Christmas episode and my last episode of 2016. My name is Ali. I am in Kent in the UK, which is the county just south of London. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. And the show summary for the for this podcast and for all of my videos can be found underneath or at my blog, which is www.littledropsofwonderful.com. Yes. Welcome to all my returning subscribers, and a big hello to all my new subscribers who have been appearing over the last week or so. I hope welcome to you. This has been quite a quick video since my last one, because I had quite a lot to share with you, so I split it into two videos and I wanted to get a special Christmas one in before the end of the year. That's enough. Right, before we get started on the main stuff, which is the works in progress and the finished objects and anything I've bought, I wanted to just say a few things about my plans for the podcast and also mention why I'm wearing a hat. Hang on, right, so text message just popped up on my screen. So I put timestamps for every section of the video below, so if you want to skip to any section at any point you can, but I just wanted to say a couple of things about my plans for next year. I started this, sorry, I've got something in my eye. I started this podcast because I had a burning need to talk about the things I'm passionate about and the things that I love, which is crafting and crochet, and to a slightly newer extent, although I realised last week that I've actually now been knitting properly for about a year. So yeah, still quite new to it compared to crochet, but to be able to I have all these things buzzing around in my head constantly. If you're a creative type of person and this is the kind of thing you like to do, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. And I needed an outlet to be able to talk to people, just to talk about the things that I really love and to share my passion for it, and hope that that might inspire other people to be passionate about it too, because I can't imagine having a life where I don't have these things in my life. I just don't understand how I could function without my craft, particularly with my yarn based craft. But I am aware there's a lot of podcasts out there. Yeah, a lot of podcasts that I really enjoy, and I want to make sure that what I'm sharing with you is actually interesting. I don't want to be sharing for the sake of just getting it out of my head. I'm sort of aware that I need to make some more interesting content. So I was having a little think about what my plans for 2017 would be. I decided to have a go at maybe starting to film shorter, snappier videos focusing on one particular hand-dyed, or not hand-dyed, one particular yarn, talking about it, and then doing a short video about how it looks how it's balled up, how it knits up, the type of patterns I'm using, and talking about the patterns in more detail, and doing shorter videos like that. Maybe the odd tutorial as well, if that's helpful. That'll probably be more along the lines of crochet tutorials, because that's where my expertise lies. I'm still consider myself to be a very new knitter. I'll still be able to, I will still be filming more traditional podcasts too, but my aim is to film my channel with a lot more varied content that's easy to dip into without having to carve out a lot of time in your day. Does that sound good? That's the plan anyway. I'm sure that's easier said than done, but it's one of my goals anyway for 2017. So let's get started. I've got some notes in front of me so that I don't lose track. I talked about a couple of my works in progress last week, which was my 2 pairs of socks. I haven't made any progress on those, I hate to say, because I really need to finish my husband's socks, and I really need to get them finished for Christmas. Let's talk about the hat, because I need to take it off because it's pushing my hair into my eyes. This hat is made using drops. Why am I always so unprepared when I start a podcast? 1 second while I go and get the lid. It's not drops at all. This hat is made using Debbie Bliss Rialto 4-ply, which is an extra fine merino wool superwash. And I love it. I have never used it before, but I absolutely love it. It is soft, it's easy to work with, and the colours are really nice. I don't know why it's coming out looking holey there. It really isn't. This is the Simple Santa hat, which is Barbara from KnittingiLove's pattern. I made it slightly shorter in the head than her pattern because I wanted the bobble to sit a bit higher. This is going to be a present for my sister. And I was one of the test knitters for the pattern, although I'm not sure how much help I really was, being new and getting confused about the simplest of things. But anyway, as you can see, it's got this lovely ribbing design here, and then the ribbing continues up the middle of the hat there. I'll take it off now because it's annoying me. There you go, fringe zhuzh. Yeah, so you got the pattern goes all the way up the middle there, and then you can make a pom. I was going to make a pom-pom in the matching wool, but then I had this one that was free from Inside Crochet magazine, and all I've done on the inside is just tie it in a bow so that it can be taken off when you want to wash it. I haven't blocked this. Don't know if I really need to. There's a couple of points. I don't know if this is me or the yarn. It's probably me. Can you see where there's just 2 raised stitches there? I've done that at the odd time, so maybe a bit of blocking might help that. Anyway, this is going to my sister who doesn't watch the podcast because she really wants to watch the podcast because she knows I'm doing it. But I've been a big wussy scary pants about sharing my podcast to anyone really, other than people that already watch it or have found me or who I've told. I need to be a bit more open about it. I guess I'm just a bit, I don't know, it's silly because podcast people are supposed to watch it, but I get a bit shy. So maybe 2017, another plan would be more open about my podcast. Maybe share it on my Instagram feed. So that is the Simple Santa hat by Barbara of KnittingiLove. She released it, I think, last week. I'll put a link up anyway. And I think it's only something like €2 or something. It's not much, and it's a really nice pattern to knit. And once you've done this rib is quite a long section, but that's not too bad. And once you get to this section, it's really quick. It really is, because you're only doing the pattern here, and then the rest of it's just knit on the back. So it really is a simple hat. Like I say, I made this shorter, and my husband likes this so much that he would like one in the full length because he wants it really floppy. He won't have a bobble on it. So and he wants it, I think he said he wants it in grey and red, but I thought it would make him actually look like Santa. So I said I'd try and get a variegated yarn so he gets grey and red throughout. So hopefully I will get around to that for him. Yeah, so that's my that's a finished object. It's not a work in progress at all because I don't have any. Oh, I do have a work in progress. So let's do it backwards. So that is my finished object. And then I've got some little friends to show you as well, which can kind of count as finished objects. Ready? These are, and forgive me my pronunciation, Korknisse. Danish, Cork elves. They're corks. I have a lot of corks. Yeah, a lot of corks. And then I saw on the lovely Annaboo's house feed that she had released a little free crochet pattern to make these little hats and things. In the end, I just started winging it. I used her pattern as the base and then just started winging it as I went, because I wanted the hats to be a bit pointy, and then I had different size corks, and then it's a very simple little design, and then you just sew buttons on. Yeah, they're so cute. So I've been making quite a few of them, and they're kind of scattered all over the house now. So I'm going to give some of those as gifts as well. So I've been busily making lots of these, but these are some finished little purple ones. And there's just with scraps of little cotton yarn. DK cotton yarn. Okay. Okay, so my one work in progress that I'm going to show you is a couple of episodes ago, I had finished a Highland Peaks shawl from the I'm really low down, sorry. The Highland Peaks pattern from Mina of the Knitting Expat, and I really enjoyed it. It was the first shawl I had ever made, and I used Drops Baby Alpaca silk. And because it was the first shawl I ever made, I misread how much I needed, and I bought about 3 times the amount I needed. So I'm now making another Highland Peaks shawl using the same colours but laid out differently. So my first one was red and grey with a green lace border, but now I'm doing this one grey and green, and I've already started on the red border. Hopefully that's coming out not too badly. And I'm going to give this one, I think, to my mum for Christmas. I've got about 20 rows of the lace section still to do. So I'm hoping that if I ever get any time to myself, although at the moment things are so busy, I'm not sure how I might take this along with me to trampolining tonight with the girls, and try to get some done there. So by the time I get to the evening at the moment, because I've been running around so much in the day trying to organise everything, trying to get my cards written, trying to get the presents sorted and wrapped, and do post office runs and dump runs, and trying to build furniture and tidying up and getting ready, it's really hard at the end of the day to then sit and concentrate on knitting lace. But, oh, and that's all being kept in my lobster bag, which I made because I love lobsters. That's my work in progress. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, the final things that I wanted to talk about this episode were things that I have bought recently. So the first thing, actually there was one thing I forgot to show you last week. Last week I talked about going to festival with my mum, which was a wool festival in Hitchin here in the UK. And one of the things I picked up there was this natural yarn. I forgot to show you last week. That's what it looks like. Right, I'm just going to turn the camera around and get it to do a proper focus. Hold on one second. So the thing about this, it's made by a company called the Unique Yarn Company. I think that's it. I'll put a link up. And this is mineral dyed wool. So it's 100% wool, and it is dyed using crushed up lapis lazuli stones. So it is 100% natural. It's 100% wool, and it is dyed with 100% natural ingredients. They were really interesting people to talk to. I think they've been supplying the fashion industry, and they've just branched out to supplying the craft industry. Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, I picked this up because as soon as I saw it, I had someone in mind that I knew would love that, who loves all natural stuff. I won't say who, because this is going into the post this afternoon, and I'm actually filming this a few days in advance of when I'm going to publish it. So it's going into the post straight away, so she will get it before she sees this. So that's a gift winging its way to somebody. So that's one of the things I bought. Now, something else I bought recently in the last couple of weeks was an impulse, dare I say, after a couple of wines purchase. It's by Amy of Stranded Dye Works, and it is a one-off colourway, which was paint box number 4. And it's when I ordered it, I actually thought it was, I did say I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. I thought it was 4-ply, but it's DK. So this is my first ever DK weight hand dyed, and I don't think I could have chosen any better. Look at that. This is lovely. I can't wait to sort of unskein it and have a look at what it looks like all in there. So yeah, it really is beautiful. Really pleased with that. I've no idea what I'm going to make with it. I'm almost tempted to make some DK weight socks because I've never tried that. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with this, and I've got my eye on so many of Amy's dies. So I've got a birthday coming up in a few months, so I think I'll have quite a few things on my list. This is 100% superwash merino DK, and it is 225 meters. Doesn't say what the weight is. I'm assuming it's 100 grams. Can't remember. Anyway, yeah, so I'm very, very pleased with that. And another purchase that I made, and I've just realised I've got one other purchase which I've left in the other room, so we're going to get that in a minute. I'm sorry about the crinkling. I ordered some minis because I don't have any, and I really admire my mama knits, who is Sunshine Stewart on Instagram. I love her colourways. So I ordered a surprise pack of 5, and you just she just selects it for you. I don't know if she'd seen my Instagram feed or something, because I had been long admiring this particular mini, which is the Loch Ness colourway, which is inspired by an old black and white photograph of the Loch Ness monster. So I'm really, really pleased with these. I'm just going to show you them all in one go, like that. Then I'm going to turn the camera around and show it to you with a better focus. Okay, I can't see you now, but hopefully you can see me. So these are my 5 colourways. Let's see if I can get those to focus. Okay, so first of all, we have Loch Ness Monster. The next one is a single batch number 10. Which is a lovely mix of blues and reds, which I really like actually. I love blues and reds together. That's a new kind of colour combination that started to grow on me. This one is called I'm Late, and I believe this is one of the colourways from her Alice in Wonderland inspired collection. So that's another absolutely beautiful one. I mean, it's really hard to choose a favourite with her yarn. Right, this one's called Single Batch 19, which is a mix of, it reminds me of like the old baby blankets, like kind of pastel-y blues, pinks, yellows and greens. Yeah, I really like that one. Reminds me of like the 80s, in a good way. And this one's called Heart in Flames. I'm not sure, I should look this up. I'm not sure what collections that one's from. It might be possibly from her Christmas Story one, or possibly from Alice in Wonderland, or neither. Might be from something else entirely. So yeah, those are all my little minis. So some of these I'm going to keep, and some of them I'm going to give as gifts, because I want to start a little mini collection. So actually, if anyone's interested in doing a mini swap, not necessarily with these particular minis, but with any other yarns or anything like that, I'm going to be making up some minis with yarns I already have. Yeah, let me know. Okay, I think most of those came out and focused. I think the 2 that didn't were these 2. I think those were the 2 that didn't come out. So there they are for you. Heart in Flames and Single Batch number 19. Actually, they look really nice together. Yeah, so I am very pleased with those. And yeah, if anyone's interested in doing a little mini swap, please do let me know, because I really want to start to increase my minis. And start doing that. 2 last things that I have bought recently. If you've seen me on Instagram, you would have seen these already. This is my yak bag. which I bought from the Tibet Relief Fund, which is enlightenedgifts.co.uk. I often buy things from them at Christmas. They do really nice little gifty things that are quite unusual. But this was for me because it's got 2 little pockets at the back. And it's just sort of big enough for carting around your knitting or your crochet. And I've got a couple of things that I'm keen to cast on over Christmas, which I'm sure I will talk about either between Christmas and New Year or in my next episode of the New Year. So that's my yak bag. Really pleased with that. And one more thing. I bought some stitch markers from the Little French Meadow in their sale. Let's see if I can get those to focus. Sorry about my nails. I'm still trying to stop biting them. Little fairy wand. Little Christmassy fairy wand. So I got a set of these in the sale, and I just love them whenever they're on my knitting. They're just so cool. I love them. Anyway, I think that comes to the end of this episode. So hopefully I didn't race through it too much. I felt like I really raced through that. I do apologise, and I keep moving the camera and having to try and focus and wearing silly hats. So if it wasn't 11 o'clock in the morning, I would raise a glass and wish you a Merry Christmas. But as it is 11 o'clock in the morning, I will just raise my mug of tea to you, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Bye. Have a really lovely time, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And remember, it's still magic, even if you know how it's done.